We're going to be seeing Zurdo fighting next week.
Yeah, Zurdo versus Dorticos, which obviously because you're not here, it's just kind of a case of us just talking about this fight. Like, let's say I expect Zurdo to win. Obviously, we done the video on Opetaia, and a lot of people in the comment section was criticizing us. They were saying that Jai's been calling for this fight for so long. He's been calling for the fight. The guys who actually don't know, whilst Jai has been calling for the fight, my point was, and I don't think you guys listened, was Eddie Hearn has not done a good job for Jai. So if Jai is calling for a fight, and my matchmaker and promoter cannot get me a fight, meanwhile, Zurdo's matchmaker and promoter in Oscar has got him 2 world title fights, then I have to then look at my matchmaker and promoter and say, you have not done a successful job. Yeah. This is not a knock on Jai. This is a knock on Eddie. But you guys in the comment section, because you're such Jai fans, you thought that we were knocking Jai. No, Jai probably does want the fight. But at the end of the day, he hasn't made that fight with Zurdo. I'm just saying, when you currently look at the landscape, there is no fight for Zurdo, and there's no fight for Jai that's not each other at that weight class. The cruiserweight division is for me, that's probably the fight I want to see the most in boxing this year. Zurdo versus Jai is probably the fight I want to see the most in boxing this year.
Yeah.
Can you think of a fight that you want to see more?
The others would not be for boxing purposes.
Like what?
Like a Devin versus Ryan or something like that. Do you know what I mean? But in terms of creme de la creme boxing, a la Bivol Beterbiev, of like, I don't care about the numbers that it does. I don't give a shit about all that kind of stuff. This is the 2 best fighters. It's the division that's got 2 top, clear 1 and 2.
1 versus 2. And if you were to say 1 versus 2, who are you saying?
It's got to be Jai number 1.
You putting Jai number 1?
It's got to be Jai number 1.
See, for me, whilst I agree that based on what he's done at Cruiserweight, you can put Jai at number 1. What Zurdo's done in his career, I'm not comfortable doing that.
I get that. The thing is as well, we still, I know I just said it's not about numbers, but from a commercial perspective as well, and the knockouts and all that kind of stuff, Jai's number 1.
The truth is, Zurdo...
Jai's got a much bigger profile than Zurdo.
Where?
Globally.
In America and in Mexico, obviously Zurdo's carrying this is the thing though, I'm glad you actually brought that conversation up, because even if that's the case...
If you ask most people who's the guy at Cruiserweight, they'll say Joe Opetaia.
Probably, but this is the thing though, with Eddie, you didn't gamble on your guy, whereas Oscar did.
Yeah.
Because Oscar's stable isn't as deep, he's only got a few world champions. This is my legitimate world champion and the first ever Mexican cruiserweight world champion.
Yeah.
First ever Mexican cruiserweight world champion. And if he wins against Jai Opetaia and eventually becomes undisputed, I think he would be, Canelo became undisputed at 68. I was going to say he's the first undisputed champion that Mexico's had in the 4-belt era as well. But he would have been the second. But my point is, because Oscar is got a thinner stable than Eddie's spreading his money quite wide. Whereas Oscar's put money behind Zurdo, and Zurdo's ended up getting the 2 belts. He beat Chris Billam-Smith and he beat Glomarian. So he's now got 2 belts. You're going to put Jai as favourite in that fight?
Just.
I actually, and I know I'm going to get criticised for this. I actually think Zurdo wins that fight, and I'll tell you why. Only because of Jai's. The only person I've ever seen beat Zurdo Ramirez is Bivol, and Bivol's number 1 attribute in that fight, Jai has 0, and that's discipline.
That? Yeah.
Zurdo had to remain disciplined that whole fight. Because, Bivol had to remain disciplined that whole fight because Zurdo kept coming forward. Jai Opetaia is a better boxer than Zurdo, but he's got power. And I feel like he's going to make a fight harder than it needs to be.
Yeah.
And the issue is, like we saw against Bradis, on the back end of that fight, where Zurdo starts to kick it up and Jai's put a lot into the fight in the first 6.
Yeah.
That's where...
Like Matchroom versus Ortiz.
Exactly. Yeah. That's where the crafty Mexican, old, experienced style can catch out as Jai Opetaia.
Does Zordo have the chin to deal with the power, though? To get to that late stage of the fight?
We have not seen anything otherwise. Granted, he hasn't fought anyone with near the power of Jai Opetaia.
Yeah.
Granted, you might be right. But I see this guy walk down Chris Billam-Smith, yeah? And I know Chris Billam-Smith isn't the same as Jai Opetaia in terms of skill. But in terms of physical dimensions, remember, Zordo, in theory, is coming up from light heavyweight.
But he's not even the same in terms of power, Chris Billam-Smith.
No, he's not. But he's the same in terms of dimensions, though. They're similar height.
He's a big guy.
Similar build.
Yeah, but I think walking down Dubois and then walking down, I don't know, Clark, you can say, oh, they're similar. Do you know what I mean? They're similar size, but it's not. Yeah, that's not the same thing.
Of course,
that's not the same thing. Do you know what I mean? So you got. That's the thing. Is cruiserweight boxing. It's not quite heavyweight, but
they're cracking.
They're cracking. Do you know what I'm saying? So I feel like, if Zordo can drag him into deep waters, then we'll have to see something from Jai we haven't seen before. But can you drag him into deep waters?
That's the question.
Breedis is like maybe not an all-time cruiserweight.
He's an all-time great.
Breedis is like considered an all-time great cruiserweight.
Facts.
He dragged him into deep waters, but Breedis is an all-time great, and he still managed to overcome him.
Facts.
Do you know what I'm saying? So Jai's been there before. He has been there before. Who do you think's got a better resume at this point?
We're talking about the entire... That's a good question. I think I would have to lean towards Zurdo because of his actual...
How he's been moved.
Like, this guy, he's a world champion at 68, moved to 75, moved to cruiserweight and won a world title. Even after losing to Bivol, he still moved up and he's now a unified world champion at cruiserweight. For me, I just have to... I would say, though, who's got the best win? Obviously, Jai's got that win over Breidis. That's a great win. But in terms of their overall career, I have to lean towards Zurdo. And there's part of me, you know what it is? I love Jai as a fighter, but there's part of me that's bought into the Zurdo comeback story. The fact that you can go from 68 all the way to cruiserweight, bro.
I do like that, but also then you're fighting someone who's a natural cruiserweight and hasn't looked to leave the divisions. There's been some talk of him moving to heavyweight, but really he's a natural built cruiserweight. He's fought there for a long time. Cruiserweight people just move in and out of. Like, a lot of men don't stay at cruiserweight. And when you stay at cruiserweight, if you're a Tony Bellew or
Zurdo said he wants to beat Jai and go up to heavyweight and win a world heavyweight title.
I'm sure he does.
And for me, if you can't that's just a sick story, though.
No, it's a great story. It's a great story. But we see a lot of men try that and fail.
Yeah, facts.
Do you know what I'm saying? Roy Jones, who is in my top 5 pound for pound boxers of all time, looked horrible at heavyweight. Do you know what I'm saying? But he did
win a world title at heavyweight, though. He did win the world title at heavyweight.
I just feel like we're sitting here looking at Jai Opetaia's power up against Zurdo. You take a step up, even at the lower level, you've got to get through an Atoma. At the mid-level, you've got to get through a Wardley. At the top level, you've got to get through a Dubois. I'm just talking about in terms of power.
Yeah, facts.
Like, that's just, do you know what I'm saying? So, moving up from 168 to deal with that type of power, at some point you bite off more than you can chew.
At some point.
At some point.
Regardless, it's a great fight.
You're talking about dimensions of Chris Billam-Smith. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? You move up against some of these giants.
But Chris Billam-Smith's never been walked down like that before, though. Because Chris Billam-Smith walked down flipping Riakpo and a Coley.
That's what I was going to say. Like, I understand what you're saying. And I don't want to diminish anyone's boxing ability, but the quality of those opponents that's a dark ages of cruiserweight.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? If them 3 fought in a tournament, nobody would watch. Do you know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Like, it's horrible.
Facts.
Horrible. So I don't feel like they got the size and relative power. I think Lawrence has got proper power. The other two kind of relative power.
But Lawrence, I think Lawrence is a hugger, innit? So
yeah,
he just whatever. To be fair, it's irrelevant. At the end of the day, that fight's something that we should see.
Yeah,
and if we see it,
and it's good that we've finally got a fight where we disagree again.
Yeah.
This is great. You're leaning towards Zurdo, I'm leaning towards Opetaia. So let's see what happens.